Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it's time for a dynamic effort bench press day. But a quick reminder for those of you who watch these videos, please remember to click like down below. It would be greatly appreciated. And let's get over to the training. Last week of the band weight, increased the weight slightly. Bar speed was really good. Quite happy with this. I feel like based on these bar speeds, I may be able to start with the same weight for the chain wave. All right, as far as the bar weight goes, we'll see. Pretty happy with that speed though, as far as the concentric reps now that I'm pausing. Happy with using the buffalo bar for this. And I think that's the direction I need to go for all my chest work for a bit, getting that deeper stretch. And I think I might even pull out doing rep work with any sort of normal bar and replace it with dumbbells on max day, and then just use the cambered bar, right? The McDonald cambered bench bar as a second press, and see if we can bring that up. I need to really get that stretch out of the bottom. And I feel like a lot of my tech work that I need will come straight out of the speed work at this point. And I am noticing though, I feel like I'm getting faster with the wide grips now with this bar, right? Which is good. Means my pecs are getting stronger because I've got to bring my pecs up. And I'm not saying that things like my delts and triceps don't matter. We're still working them. And we're putting an enormous amount of effort into my upper back now. But pecs, right? Pecs are going to be the key to putting the next 50 pounds, 60 pounds on my bench. Nothing else is going to do it. I'm not going to tricep my way through it, not with a raw bench. And I'm going to have to just keep working the wider grip stuff, which is, again, what we're doing. It's what we're doing. But for these, as normal, I did 9 triples and I did 3 different grips. We started with pinkies on the rings, then went medium, then went close, right? And I think, again, with this bar, now that I'm doing this, I am faster on the wide. And I used to be the opposite. I used to be faster on the close. So again, seeing a very positive trend, because I'm not usually getting these bar speeds with this sort of weight historically. So I have a feeling when I actually legitimately start testing some real maxes instead of just playing with training maxes so they feel heavy, I might be surprised what I end up benching coming up. And then we get on to rowing, and I had to put some thought into what I'm doing. I really do want to put more low back work in right now, and I'm going to hammer that harder on my lower days because, again, I'm not going to care about doing extra quad stuff because of the sled drags. I really need my low back to be recovered, and as much as I love the idea of doing bent over rows right now, works great for some of my clients, I think all chest supported stuff to get my 2 types of rows in, probably going to be the way to go. And I think I'm going to just start adding more restoration. And I haven't been doing reverse hypers on off days for a long time. Now that I've gotten strict on them, I may go ahead and start working those in for restoration to help me handle all that low back workload. And then my low back can rest on these days to some extent. But these went good. I picked right back up where I left off, and I felt it was too light, so I added 5 pounds and then got 2 sets of 10 with another 5 on. So we did 180 on these seal rows or 10s for the last 2 sets. And again, I feel like I'll be able to increase this next time also. I'm just going to microload this up with microplates. I have plenty of microplates at this point because I have enough to do all my dumbbells, right? I have enough to do all my dumbbells. So not an issue there to microload. All right, dumbbells. This went good. I went up to 102. Right? We did the 99 last time. I went up to 102. I got 10, and then I managed to squeeze out 11. We had set a short-term goal of repping hundreds for 10s. Well, we just got 102s for 11s. We've reached it. Got to keep pushing. What do we need to shoot for as the next milestone? I'm not really sure. Another 10 pounds. Long term, I need to be repping 125s. I already know that's going to be something that's got to happen within the next year, right? Next year, I need to be repping the 125s on these. And I'll mess with some decline work on this if I need to. If these stall a little bit, I'll play with some decline. The main thing is getting that deep stretch on the pecs and really hypertrophying all these areas, right? We've got to bring it all up. I need my pecs to come up dramatically, and I need my triceps to keep growing. That's why we're doing so much arm work. But for pecs, I'm just really doing targeting work. I'm not just doing mindless volume at this point. You know, outside of max work, you know, we get 6 good work sets. You know, and again, maybe it's a little more with the speed. So really it comes to about 7. Comes to about 7 work sets. If we count the maxes as 1. So what I'll end up doing, it's going to be dumbbells, it's going to be McDonald bar, illegal wide bench, all that stuff. I was going to mess with some seal rows on these today, but I couldn't get the position right. I was having to stack so many pads up with dumbbells. So instead, I decided to go with a setting where I can touch the floor just barely on the 45-degree incline. And I wanted to see if I could actually rep these 102s, and I managed to get 10s. Now again, I have to pause them a little bit. And for those curious, why am I turning the elbows out at the bottom? To make sure I use my lats to break it off the floor. Otherwise, I'm trying to use too much bicep and brachialis, and those are going to get worked anyways. Using the lats to break it off the floor. And with this slightly higher angle, we're getting a little more upper back involvement. So again, trying to get my middle and upper back maximally developed. And I already have big lats. And people say, well, you've got a pretty big upper back. It's pretty big. I need it bigger. It will help all 3 of my lifts. We know it'll help my bench. It'll help my deadlift. It'll even help my squats because it'll give me a better shoulder position. Because I'm almost worried about that. I'm worried about when I go back to a straight bar. Because I'm going to have to compete, step on the platform. Right? Unless I walk in and do a deadlift only. Maybe. We'll see. To get my feet wet. But after that, I was really happy with that. I managed to get 10s. They were hard. Had to kind of rest a little bit on those last reps, some of those. So then I went over to these laying extensions. Now that I've gotten the stretch where I want, where I can get the bar behind my head and everything. And for anyone who's like, why don't you go even deeper? Because my shoulder doesn't like it. Right? My shoulder doesn't like it. If I don't go this narrow on the grip, I can't even get it down here. It's about the limit of what my shoulder can handle, and that's fine. It's beating up my triceps, and we're getting that long head worked here. I feel more long head on this, and I feel more lateral head when I do the dumbbells. So between the two, we're getting good development. But I went up on weight. I jumped this another 10 pounds. And I managed to get the 10s. They were hard. And I felt like it fatigued my triceps so much that when I went to do the dumbbells, I couldn't really AMRAP them. I managed to get my 3x10s, and that was it. They were hard. They were hard to get the 10th rep. So there won't be a weight increase there because I think I got like 11 last time. But by going up on this, it fatigued my triceps more. Now, I need to keep bringing this up. I mean, realistically speaking, you guys have seen me do more than this weight in the past. If I recall, my memory serves correct. When I was back in the UK, I did bigger tricep movements than this. You know, even on laying extensions. So I need to get this weight up. I mean, realistically, what do I need? I really need to be doing a full plate. I mean, we worked up to 95 pretty quick here doing these again. But now that I can do them, I need to get to like 135 for 10s. That's what I need to do. And at that point, my triceps will probably be strong enough to do what I need them to do on a bench. Curls. Going with just the semi-strict standing curls. And I'm taking them up high. I'm taking the barbell all the way up to my face. Why? Full range of motion of the bicep. What are the purposes of the bicep? Right? Elbow flexion. And a little bit of shoulder extension up at the top. Right? Part of what the bicep does. A lot of people are like, doesn't it help supinate and pronate the wrist? Yes, but it doesn't use any muscle fibers really to do that. You can't load that. In other words, doing it from just a weight hanging doesn't actually build any muscle. You're probably reducing bicep involvement by doing that, to be honest. Just calling it like it is. Because again, and I'm not worried about it, everything's going to be palms up. Everything's going to be with a supine grip. Because all of my rowing and back work is with a pronated grip of some type. Which again, working wonders for my forearms. You guys see on some of those side shots with the dumbbell stuff, my forearms are getting thick. I think between that and the dead hangs and everything, my forearms are getting pretty thick. You can see it at those angles. And that stuff's helping actually. So this is purely for biceps. That's it. Purely for biceps. Will it help my bench a little bit? Probably. Will some of this help make my biceps resistant to deadlift tears? Probably. Could argue it's partially for vanity. I've got to bring the arms up anyways because everyone always is like, oh, Blaha's got a terrible bench. Blaha has tiny arms. My arms are probably measure a lot bigger than people realize though. You need to look at me inside when I'm standing in that rack to scale. So, gonna train them. Laterals. These were tough today. I just went with the 32.5. 10s were hard. 10s were hard. They're challenging. But I've gone up relatively quickly on this, so it's really all I can do. I think from this point, every single pound I gain on lateral raises is going to be hard. They're going to start taking a long time to make increases. Because realistically, again, how much delt growth are we talking about with an advanced lifter? If I just add 5 pounds to each dumbbell, it's a lot. So I don't want to cheat much more to get it there. So again, my delts were lit up from this though. My delts were fried from these three sets, just with this weight. And I didn't really have another rep in the tank. Right? I didn't have another rep in the tank on any of them. They were limit sets. So again, that next weight increase is going to be tough. It's going to be tough. To go from the 32.5 to the 35, my delts are going to have to get bigger. It's going to take time, especially without a calorie surplus. The extensions, these, I felt the lateral head really getting hammered, which is good. You know, we need that for benching and everything. But by the time I got to these, because of that weight increase on the barbell extensions, I just couldn't push these any further. So I'm not going to really count it as a regression because my triceps were more tired going in, but I think I got one more rep last time, right, on my max effort day earlier this week with the final set, and I just didn't have it in there. These reps were it. But considering we PR'd on everything else, the speed work was faster. We PR'd on the dumbbell presses. We PR'd on the legging extensions. My triceps, this is all they could take. They didn't have anything left. All right? So I think we're going to see the same thing here as I'm progressively overloading these other movements that use the triceps. I think when we get to this little finisher at the end, it's going to be a fight for every pound now. Right? It's going to be a fight for every pound, and that's okay. Because at this point, when we're getting this deep into a workout, every pound on these dumbbells for these work sets is going to represent substantial tricep growth. Right? It's going to be a substantial increase in thickness of the muscle and hypertrophy. So it's going to be, again, of a fight. It's going to be a fight. But I want to keep these in. Right? A lot of people will be like, well, you could rotate movements. No, I'm not ready to rotate movements yet. I really want to keep these couple of dumbbell movements in. Right? As long as they don't get overuse. I want to make the most out of them because they are good movements. Incline curls, kind of the same thing, because I managed to pick up an extra rep on the standing curls. My biceps were very fatigued at this point. But keeping in mind, I was doing these as a first bicep movement recently, and now that they're coming in as a secondary bicep movement, they're getting hard. But we still got 10s. Like, I'm still able to do the same weight for 10s, but it's the same thing. I've done all that rowing, but then we come in as a second bicep movement. To keep using the same weight is actually good, and I'm happy with that. So again, incline curls, we get a stretch position. We're hitting the biceps from a second angle. The other one's a really good full range of motion. This is a stretch position movement coming in as a secondary stimulus. Again, it should maximize muscle growth. Between these two movements, pretty much anything the bicep does has been covered completely between these 6 total sets, which again should work. My biceps should be growing as a result of it. I'm just going to have to progress on them. And will I have to adjust stuff if it starts to stall or we're getting overused? Sure, we will. We'll make minor adjustments. We can take them out for a couple weeks and then bring them back in. And after that, of course, I will finish off with rear delt flies with the dumbbells, which is just like my laterals, just bent over further. But when you look at it, what all are we working? We're working the same muscles as the side lateral, right? The lateral raise versus the bend over, it's the same muscles, it's just in a different proportion, right? Just like a closed grip versus a wider grip bench, is just a different proportion. If you look at any of the EMG data, both hit the side and the rear delts and the traps, right? We just get more rear delts on this and more side delt on the other. But all of that stuff gets hit with both. It's just, again, a different angle, different emphasis. It will make sure that my delts come up, and I'm noticing my rear delts and everything are getting bigger in the mirror. You guys aren't seeing it with me covered in a shirt, but I can see it when I turn to the side in the bathroom mirror and stuff. It's definite. It's getting noticeable. So it's all working. And on these, I don't care about being as super strict. I don't care. I'm just trying to be aggressive because I am fatigued at this point in the workout. We are way deep in the workout. I do whatever I can just to finish the set, and I do feel the rear delts and traps light up, which is what we want. So overall, very, very happy with today's workout. Feel like I'm making good progress here. So I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.